When a highly complex system undergoes severe stress, the pressure doesn't break the strongest components first. It shatters the connections between them. For K-12 and collegiate institutions in the Philippines, this systemic stress is already here. Administrators are operating on borrowed time, relying on education management systems built from patched, vendor-locked modules that barely communicate with one another. And as these disjointed systems fail to handle modern workloads, facing intense pressure to adopt agentic AI, autonomous software designed to act on data, in a desperate bid to fix their operational pain points. But a single Philippine campus generates tens of thousands of variables every hour: attendance records, grade encodings, tuition payments, disciplinary actions. When these systems fail, they don't just lose data, they jeopardize academic futures and institutional finances. Layering autonomous AI directly over a fragile, module-based software stack is an operational trap. Without an underlying structural spine, adding an AI agent does not solve administrative overload. It acts as an entropy amplifier, accelerating the very disorder it was purchased to prevent. The root cause of this failure is entropy leakage. When variables like policy changes and parent communications are left unmanaged, they leak into the core operations of the school, generating institutional disorder. This requires a different approach. True competitive advantage in educational technology does not come from selling isolated AI features. It requires deploying a complete, end-to-end governance architecture. To survive the integration of advanced artificial intelligence, schools must abandon the habit of software patching and adopt a rigorous model of chaos navigation. This approach is grounded in the Bridge360 Metatheory. It operates on a specific principle: physical environments, digital data streams, and social organizations all occupy a single, measurable entropy geometry. We can visualize this geometry through the unified probability space. This diagram maps systemic entropy on a normalized scale from 0 to 1. 0 represents total rigidity, which is brittle. 1 represents maximum disorder, which is unnavigable. The target zone for institutional stability sits exactly between 0.45 and 0.65. In the Bridge360 model, this specific interval is called the epsilon spine. Effective institutional governance does not mean enforcing absolute control. Total rigidity causes systems to snap under pressure. True governance means maintaining the school's active variables safely within this epsilon spine. This mathematical framework translates directly into software through the Adal education management system. Adal EMS functions as the structural cylinder for the institution, anchoring every digital workflow to a central axis. Adal takes the highest stakes operations, payroll, grade integrity, compliance deadlines, and cash handling, and anchors them deeply inside that stable corridor. This rigid stabilization of core data prevents entropy leakage. The essential records remain secure, regardless of external pressure. Meanwhile, highly variable tasks, like messaging volume, schedule repairs, and activity planning, are designated as chaos variables. Adal allows these to fluctuate in the outer margins, absorbing daily shocks without threatening the core. This central spine architecture transforms the EMS into the institution's primary defense mechanism against disorder. But deploying agentic AI within this system requires acknowledging a specific reality. Philippine schools are not yet acclimated to autonomous AI, and they operate under strict Department of Education data privacy mandates. Granting an artificial intelligence autonomous authority over minor student data, academic trajectories, or university finances introduces severe legal and ethical risk. A single hallucination in a grading system carries massive institutional liability. To eliminate this risk, Bridge360 deploys AI through a strict structural solution, the Progressive AI Adoption Ladder. This framework ties AI deployment to a mathematical agency index. A school must demonstrate clean data practices and clear approval workflows before the system unlocks higher levels of automation. The technology never outpaces the institution's maturity. The lowest step is Stage A, or clerk mode. Here, the AI is restricted to drafting announcements and retrieving records. It has zero external agency. Every action requires human clicks to execute. Once a school proves its governance capacity, it moves to Stage B, autopilot with a seatbelt. The AI handles reversible tasks like compliance checklisting and schedule repairs, but every action is heavily logged and carries an immediate rollback protocol. Only after institutional trust is mathematically proven does a school reach stage C. Here, highly constrained microagents are delegated specific tasks, like attendance anomaly detection, operating strictly within predefined operational boundaries. All three stages are governed by a control layer of entropy budgets. Every administrative action is categorized by risk: green for low entropy tasks like sorting, yellow for medium risk tasks like sending communications. Red actions, like altering official transcripts or issuing disciplinary sanctions, carry the highest entropy. These trigger hard tripwires, instantly freezing the AI and requiring a mandatory human-in-the-loop review. This staged progression ensures that AI functions strictly as governed middleware. It allows schools to unburden their staff while retaining absolute institutional agency over every decision. But there is a fundamental limitation to pure technology. No matter how robust the software governance, the system will eventually fail if the human operators lack the cognitive capacity to navigate complexity. This requires a human corollary to the digital architecture. Bridge360 implements a philosophy of education designed explicitly as human entropy management. The curriculum is structured as a sequence of systemic error correction, starting in the elementary years with semantic intake. At this stage, the objective is minimizing informational noise. By cultivating deep reading comprehension, young students learn to ingest clean data from their environment without distortion. In high school, the focus shifts to inferential discipline. Students learn logic and critical thinking to understand the limits of human reasoning, effectively constraining systemic errors before they propagate. By college, the curriculum advances to strategic navigation. Using systems thinking, students are trained to manage entropy and make sound decisions under severe complexity stress. This cognitive progression is a defense mechanism. It prevents mimetic pathologies like AI hallucination, sophistry, and political misinformation from infecting the student body. While Adal EMS governs the artificial intelligence, the curriculum builds human operators cognitively equipped to manage the tools, establishing a feedback loop of human-machine resilience. We began by looking at the reality of modern education: schools trapped by disjointed software, buckling under the weight of thousands of unmanaged variables. The Bridge360 architecture resolves this chaos mathematically. The fragmented data points are pulled inward, locked securely inside a stable operational spine. With the core data secured, intelligent guardrails deploy around the perimeter, intercepting high-risk actions and enforcing human oversight on every critical decision. Bridge360 delivers an end-to-end institutional architecture where every software function serves a broader governance goal. Traditional foreign vendors sell isolated modules that trap schools in vendor lock-in, increasing dependency and institutional fragility over time. Generic consultants sell raw AI productivity, dropping autonomous agents onto weak data foundations, which actively increases institutional risk. Bridge360 replaces these risks with 4 unified pillars: metatheoretical chaos navigation, the Adal data spine, progressive AI guardrails, and a rigorous educational philosophy. It delivers the only outcome that matters for modern institutions. It gives schools the exact tools they need to govern AI, before AI governs the school.